Wait,
Welcome back, scholars. In this video, we're going to go over the else if and the else statements. So we already did if statements. They're very cool, but that's very limiting. We just do if and another if, another if. But what if we want to do if, and then if that condition is not true, something else? Or if that condition is not true, we have a bunch of other conditions lined up to check. That's where we come with the else and the else if statements. So for example, I'm going to jump into an example and I'll explain as we go. If we have example int, and then perhaps I do age, and that's equal to something. Let's not worry about that right now, int age. The if statement is what we have first, and the else if follows that. Okay, so you'll see. So if age is, for example, greater than, I should say less than or equal to 5, and I haven't explained what this code is doing. This code is basically going to check which education level the student is in, given the age. So it's basically what it's doing. So if age is less than or equal to 5, say the student is in kindergarten. I don't know. I'm just going to write ... Basically assume this is printing out what this student is in. And then we close. After that is when the else if statement comes up. So that's else if. If this condition is not true, then it goes down to this condition. That's the next thing to check. And then perhaps we have age is, I don't want to take a whole lot of time here, so I'm actually not going to write anything here because we'll go over it in the example anyway. So ... And then close, open, let's print something out, close. Don't do this in your real program, otherwise you'll get errors. And then say, for example, I want another else if condition, and close, open, close. So what's happening here is gonna go down like this from top to bottom in a water flow like pattern. It's gonna first check this one. If this is true, it's gonna evaluate and we're done. If it's not true, next one. If that's not true, next one, we keep on going. Now there has to be an end, and that end is the else statement. The else statement doesn't have any parentheses because it's just else. If none of these are true, then it's going to be the last one. And then ... and we're done. Basically, we go from top to bottom, if, else if, and then else. Else is going to evaluate no matter what, in the sense that if there's something, if we run this program, one of the conditions has to evaluate. So when I said no matter what, that's not true. If we have like this condition evaluating, then this one is not going to evaluate. Or if we have this one evaluating, this one's not going to evaluate. But we will have one condition evaluating no matter what. Because even if none of these conditions are true, the else condition has to evaluate. So there's going to be some evaluation that occurs. And then at the end, whatever happens, happens. So this is just a quick example of else if and what we use it for. It's just condition after condition after condition. Let's go over to the IDE now.
all right, so now we're going to represent the if, else. So here is a very interesting example. So the example I'm going to be using is determining what sport Moyer is playing. So, well, I'm going to create, there's one step to this. So first we're going to create a variable, is Moyer playing basketball? If that is true, then he is playing basketball. If Moyer is playing soccer, then yes, he's playing soccer. Otherwise, well, we don't know what sport he's going to play. And just a fun reminder, Moyer is a fun teacher of mine, and me and Pranav's teachers that we had for English. And that's basically who Moyer is. All right, so first we're going to create a Boolean variable. So Boolean, is Moyer playing basketball? Is Moyer playing basketball? Or we could just say Moyer basketball to make it short. So Moyer basketball is equal to true. For now, we'll say that to true. And now we're going to create another Boolean variable. So Boolean Moyer soccer. For now, we're going to set that to false because he can be playing only one sport at a time. So now we're going to go to our condition. So if Moyer basketball equals true, so if, and we call what a condition is. It basically allows the program to make decisions. Yes, indeed, Moyer is very powerful. He can only play one sport at a time, and that's the condition we have to account for in this case. All right, so if Moyer basketball equals true, which means is he playing basketball or is he not? So if that equals true, then you print out just system.out print ln system. So system system.out print ln. And then, for example, you can say woohoo, Moyer scored a basket. And then we end it with the semicolon. Yo, all right, now let's have an else if, which means if the first condition isn't true, then it's gonna check the else if. So else if Moyer soccer. So if Moyer is playing soccer or not, then we're gonna check. So if Moyer soccer equals true, then we're gonna print it out. So now we can just copy and paste that, but now let's change things up. Let's say instead of woohoo, let's say let's go. Let's go. Moyer scored a goal. Woohoo. To change the format up a little bit. And now we're gonna have else, which means if the if and else if isn't true, that's gonna run the else. So else, then we're gonna print out. Then we're gonna print out, bro, I don't know what Moyer is playing then. Bro, or you could say bro, Moyer being sus, man. Yeah, that's another way we could say it. All right, so now let's run our program. And now let's see what that output is going to be in that case. All right, so we had the output, woohoo, Moyer scored a basket. Yo, so now let's go through this top to bottom. So first we're creating two Boolean variables, right? We're creating Moyer basketball is equal to true, Moyer soccer equals false. So that's what we need to keep note of. Now in our first condition, we have if Moyer basketball equals true. Well, if we look above, we see Moyer basketball equals true, and therefore that condition is indeed true. And if it's true, then it's gonna run whatever's inside that condition block. And now we don't even, the program is not even going to care about else if else. So if the first condition isn't true, then it's going to check else if. Otherwise, if it's true, then the program is just going to disregard the else if else. All right, so now to make changes, let's now switch Moyer basketball equals to false. And once again, in this scenario, Moyer, the fun teacher, cannot play two sports at one time. So one has to be false, other has to be true. So now let's say Moyer soccer equals true. Now let's rerun our program. So now we see, let's go Moyer scored a goal, woohoo. So now let's go through this program. Well, the adjustments we made is that Moyer basketball equals false, Moyer soccer equals true, right? So if Moyer basketball equals true, well, Moyer basketball equals false. So if it's false, that condition is false. So now it's gonna go to the else if. Now it's gonna check Moyer soccer equals true. What we see in our Boolean Moyer soccer equals true is that it's true. And so therefore, the condition else if is true, and since it's true, it's gonna run whatever is inside that condition block, and therefore it's printing out let's go, Moyer scored a goal, woohoo. So it's gonna disregard else. But now for the last change for else, now let's make both of them false. And now let's run our program. All right, so we see the last condition or last statement that is being output, bro, Moyer being suspect. So what we did here is that both of the Boolean variables are false. And looking at it from top to bottom, we see both of the if and else if. You're gonna see that's false, right? So now it's gonna go to the remaining condition that's left is else. So if the if and else if isn't true, it's gonna print out whatever is remaining, which is else. And in the else condition block, is going to print out bro Moyer being sus man, which essentially equals we don't know what sport he's playing. And therefore, that is the output. So that's basically what we're covering in terms of conditions, where we covered if, else, things. Oh yeah, and thanks Moyer. We must thank him, make sure.